Hi everyone, I'm Hannah and welcome to Pleasure Trove, the only arts, culture and news show here on YouTube all about sex. I don't actually know if I can claim that, but one of the only, just in case. Hey, Hannah from the future here. Today I wanted to tell you about this really cool project I got to work on a while ago with YouTube. Myself and some other YouTube creators went on a journey back in time. Yes, that is correct. We time traveled using virtual reality to visit the Berlin Wall and learn about what it was like to live in Berlin at that time. It was such an amazing experience. The team took real photos from that time with real people and created a virtual 3D world from those photographs, and then we got to step into those photos using VR. It was wild. And as someone who studied history at university, it's so cool to see history being done in this way that combines it with new technologies. This year marks the 30th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall, and it is still such an important story for us to continue telling. You can check out the episode now. It's called Virtually History and it's on the Real Truth History Documentaries YouTube channel, and I'll also leave a link in the description for you to go and check out. And now for some more time travel, back to past Hannah and the rest of the video. Anyway, like I said, we talk about all things news and arts and culture and internet, but all about sex for all of you sex nerds out there just like me. And a lot has been happening since the last episode of Pleasure Trove. I'm trying to make them monthly, but it's not quite working out like that, so maybe it's like every 6 weeks. It's like when you have an irregular period and you're like, it might be monthly, but also you might get 2 back to back, or it might be like 6 weeks. You never know. Speaking of periods, we're going straight into news. News. I really need jingles for each section. At the beginning of October, the BBC released the results of a study into endometriosis. Endometriosis is a condition that affects 1 in 10 people who have wombs, where the lining of the womb, the lining of the uterus, is found growing outside, and that can cause really painful periods, inflammation, lots of aches and pains, and can be really debilitating. The study was of 13,500 women who have endometriosis. I'm saying women because that's what the study said. I don't know if any non-binary or trans people were included in the study, but 13,500 people with endometriosis were asked how it impacts their life. It went into the physical effects of endometriosis, such as the pain, but then also talking about the mental health impact of it and the impact that endometriosis can have on relationships, whether that's family, friends, or partners, and also people's experiences with healthcare professionals, which we all wish was better than it was. Sometimes it can be amazing, sometimes not so much. The average amount of time it takes someone with endometriosis to be diagnosed is 7.5 years. And for a lot of people, that is 7.5 years of debilitating pain, not being taken seriously by their doctors, or just straight up being ignored or misdiagnosed. And off the back of this huge and amazing study, MPs are launching an inquiry into endometriosis and the care and the treatment of it. However, a general election has just been called. So we might have a new government by the end of this year, but fingers crossed, endometriosis stays on the agenda and the MPs can continue their inquiry. Also vote Labour, or Green, or Lib Dem, literally, I don't care. Just not Tory, or Brexit Party. If you care about sex, don't vote Tory. In other political news of a law that the Tories brought in that was absolutely pointless and stupid and just potentially dangerous, it got dropped. Ugh. Thank you. They finally saw sense. And it's the porn block. After it being delayed and delayed and delayed, they finally were just like, peace. There are too many issues and problems with this. However, the official reasoning that they gave for dropping the porn block is technical troubles and concerns from privacy campaigners. Which, yes, the privacy concerns are huge, but they're not dropping it because it was like a dumb idea in the first place and actually wasn't going to stop under 18-year-olds from accessing porn. And it was actually going to like stigmatize sexuality and porn even more. So, you know, there was no mention of that. But yes, privacy is a real concern. So However, the government also said that they're going to instead focus on broader online issues. Now, yes, we do have issues online. It's the internet. Sometimes there's not a lot we can do about it because it's the internet. So this came out in a white paper report from the government recently, and I don't know what half of it means, but also, again, election coming up. So who knows what's going to happen. But basically, and I'm just going to read this off here, an internet regulator for all website and social media outlets, not just porn. And here's the thing, the porn block wasn't going to be able to affect social media. It was just going to be like most of the porn sites and stuff. And I'm like, what is this internet regulator to assess all websites and social? What? That's their plans. I don't think any laws have quite passed yet. But again, election. And in other more fun news, we now have a period emoji. Isn't this exciting? So here you go. If you update your phones now, I think all phones, hopefully, you can get the little period blood droplet. As someone who talks about periods a lot and wrote a whole goddamn book about them, I kind of wish I'd had this period emoji when I was promoting my book. So the period emoji campaign came from Plan UK, and originally their first design was rejected by the official board of emoji people, who are called Unicode Consortium. There you go. And this was one of blood on underwear, so it's like period pants. That was rejected. But since then, Plan UK teamed up with NHS blood donation thingy-mabobby. What are they called? NHS Blood and Transplant. There you go. Very important. When I was in hospital after my surgery, I needed a blood transfusion. I had 2 bags of blood. So if you can, please donate blood. There is a shortage. So they teamed up with NHS Blood and Transplant to campaign for another period emoji, which is the red droplet. And so that got through. And yes, it can mean any kind of blood, but we know it's specifically about periods. Very exciting. Next up, Instagram. So this account was actually recommended to me by @Victorina. Sorry if I butchered that. It's @Taboob_official. And it's basically about the taboo around boobs on Instagram. And I went onto their website to find out a bit more about the campaign. And it's basically really amazing, artistic, interesting photography of nipples, female nipples. I don't want to butcher this, so I'm going to read what the photographer has said about this project because it's really interesting. Taboob is an art project that sets out to discover what makes a breast and when, according to Instagram, a breast is no longer a breast. Instagram's algorithm is designed to block naked female breasts, but what triggers it? Would Instagram still see a breast if it would have 7 nipples, if it was squished in between a sandwich, or hidden under a layer of ice? 75 pictures were uploaded to the Instagram account @Taboob_official. All of these pictures are sold in a limited edition of 50 prints per picture. So if you would like a photography print of really interesting boobies, then you know where to go. And all proceeds go to Think Pink, which is a breast cancer charity. Now, the thing that I found really interesting is like, okay, so what boobs does Instagram flag and see as, oh, that's a nipple, that's a female breast, that's a boob, and take it down, and which does the algorithm or whatever it is not see a boob? So the photographer said that they uploaded 75 photos. Now, if we go to the Instagram account, you'll see that there are only 42 posts. And so what you can do is on the Instagram, you can see the ones that clearly the Instagram algorithm didn't recognize as boobs. And then you can cross-reference that with all of the prints that are on their website and then see which ones Instagram did flag as boobs. And I just think it's a really cool experiment. Also, if you fancy it, go get yourself some art. Go check out their website, their Instagram account, and also just be mad at Instagram for hypocrisy, I guess. Double standards. What makes a boob? What makes a boob? Really interesting question. I love it. So thank you to the person who pointed me in the direction of that account. Very cool. And in YouTube world, so you may have seen recently I did a video where I was trying Kegel balls for the first time for a week and doing my pelvic floor muscle exercises. Now, it was after I'd filmed it, whilst the video was being edited, but before I uploaded it, I saw that Patricia Bright, who is an incredible YouTuber, posted a video of her trying Kegel balls. I was like, oh my God, it's one of these things where like people have the same idea at the same time, but without actually consulting each other or talking to each other. So I thought that was brilliant. Anyway, go check out my video about Kegel balls. Go check out Patricia's video about Kegel balls. I think it's really interesting. She is a mum, so she has been pregnant and she's given birth, and she is currently pregnant. So her experience of using them is very different to mine, as I have not been pregnant or given birth. And also her video is very entertaining, and it makes me really happy to see YouTubers who are more like in the lifestyle, fashion, beauty area then also talking about Kegel balls in your fanny. It's great. Now moving on to arts and culture, but also news in arts and culture. What do we call this? Pop culture, kind of. So Big Mouth came back with season 3, and oh boy do I love Big Mouth. If you don't know what the hell it is, it's a animated cartoon about a bunch of 12-13-year-olds going through puberty. It is rude, it is funny, it just tackles all of the issues, but with 12-year-olds, it's fantastic. However, it came under a bit of backlash for its definition of bisexuality and pansexuality in season 3. One of the characters is bisexual, and he has been on this journey of like discovering his sexuality and realizing that he is into everyone and everything. And then a new girl comes to school and she declares that she is pansexual. Her name is Ali, and this is how that scene goes. Ali says, pansexual means I'm into boys, girls, and everyone in between. And Nick says, I thought that was bisexual. And Ali says, no, bisexuality is so binary. And this is what a lot of people took issue with, because what it was implying is that bisexual people are only into cis men and cis women, and only pansexual people are also attracted to non-binary and trans people. When the reality is a lot of bisexual people include in their umbrella of the definition of bisexuality all genders. And also, shock horror, straight people can be attracted to trans and non-binary people too. Myself, for example, I'm straight, I'm into men, but that includes trans men and non-binary trans-masculine people. One of the creators of the show, Andrew Goldberg, apologised and thanked the bi, pan and trans communities for voicing their criticism, and said that they would do better in future seasons. And actually, Netflix has commissioned them for 3 future seasons, and I'm very excited. And I'm excited to see how they address this, because from what I've heard, I think this is the only big criticism that they've had in 3 seasons so far. And other than this one definition, I feel like they've approached all of these different topic areas really, really well. So I kind of trust them to take this on board and improve. And now I have some podcast recommendations for you. The world of podcasts and sex is brilliant. There genuinely is a lot out there, not just my own podcast, Doing It with Hannah Witton. But self-promo aside, here are some other podcasts that you should check out. Random Men Pay My Bills, which is on BBC Sounds. It's part of the Tell It series, I believe. My friend Riyadh is the host of it, and it's a mini-series about a financial dominatrix. And so Riyadh gets a glimpse into her life, her work, her mind, how it all works, what it means to be findom in findom, financial dominatrix. It is really interesting, and I definitely have a lot of conflicting thoughts on it that I'm trying to work through and figure out, because on the one hand, I'm just like, if your sexual desires and you get turned on by giving random women money and seeing them enjoy that money and putting you down, because a lot of it is like putting them down because it is about having like a sub-dom relationship that is based in money. It doesn't always include sexual acts. Oftentimes they might not even meet the clients, but there is still a transfer of money and the person doing that gets a sexual gratification from it. So is it sex work? Is it not sex work? How do findoms identify themselves? They identify as sex workers. That whole thing is covered in it, which is really interesting. So in theory, I'm like all on board, if that's your sexual fantasy, if that is what your kink is, and someone is there willing to provide that service for you, and they're getting paid, and they're loving their life and their job, great. However, some of these men have gone into debt from this, and I'm like, oh, it feels similar to maybe a gambling addiction or any kind. I don't know. And that's what makes me feel icky about it, because I'm like, are these men single? Do they have any dependents? Like, are other people depending on them for their money and then they go into debt because of some sexual urges? You tell me. Debate it in the comments. Listen to the series and let me know what you think. And the other podcast is So I Got to Thinking by Juno Dawson and Dylan B. Jones. Juno is also a friend of mine. She is a writer and a trans activist, and Dylan, is Juno's friend. And probably has his own stuff going for him. But this podcast, when Juno told me about this idea, I was like, that is genius. I love it. So basically, it is a Sex and the City podcast where Juno and Dylan are rewatching all of the episodes starting from season 1, episode 1, and then answering Carrie's questions for 2019. So if you haven't watched Sex and the City, don't worry about it. I only got to season 3 and Carrie was pissing me off, so I stopped. But I wasn't raised on Sex and the City. It's definitely not my time. My time was Skins. The show started in the 1990s, and so they discuss the episode, see how well it's aged, and then Carrie, who is like a sex journalist columnist, always is asking a question in each episode. And so then Juno and Dylan attempt to answer that question for today. So some of those questions are, can women have sex like men? Are 20-something men the new designer drug? Is there a war between singles and couples? How many of us are having secret sex? And is monogamy too much to expect? Are threesomes the new sexual frontier? So all really interesting questions, and also interesting to listen to how Juno and Dylan's answers differ from Carrie's in the show, and has 20 years, oh my god, has it been 20 years? Yes. How over the last 20 years have our attitudes towards sex and relationships changed?
And one very special thing I forgot to mention. If you didn't know, I have a newsletter. It's a monthly newsletter. It comes out on the 1st of every month. You can hear like about new announcements early and just generally get a roundup of what is going on. And we have a very special thing happening from the next newsletter. So the one that is coming out on the 1st of December. So you want to sign up, link in the description, before the 1st of December. Every month with the newsletter, you will get a PDF download of a colouring in book page designed by Maddie. I will link her Instagram in the description. She is amazing. Designed by her, and they are all going to be sex, dating, relationships, body image themed. Don't worry, there's no like graphic sex positions. They are all mostly safe for work, I think, but just on those themes. And I am so excited about them. I cannot wait to have my own and print it off and colour it in. Because they are digital, you can also like do your colouring in on your iPad or whatever if you like to do digital colouring in. I'm really excited. Please sign up for my newsletter. It's the only place that you will be able to get these colouring in book pages. There'll be a new one every month, and please, if you get them and you colour them in, post them on Twitter or Instagram and tag me so I can see your amazing pages. Can't wait. Okay, back to the video.
Thanks so much for watching this episode of Pleasure Trove. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and let me know what you thought of some of these things in the comments, and if you have any recommendations of your own. And don't forget to subscribe, because I make new videos every week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!